Because this series does pretty well and new movements and organizations are always being brought to my attention, here are more secessionist movements in the United States. We're going to start with secessionist movements for areas we've already covered. Firstly, there is Hawaii. Having been an independent kingdom just under 125 years ago at the time of this recording, Hawaii has the most secessionist movements of any state I've come across. I covered 3 different organizations in an earlier installment of the series, and today I have 2 more. The first is the Nation of Hawaii. This is the oldest active Hawaiian independence organization in the state. I couldn't find the exact date of its founding, but it has been publicly active since the late 80s. It was founded by Dennis Kanahile, a Hawaiian man who claims to be a descendant of King Kamehameha I. Unlike most Hawaiian independence groups, the Nation of Hawaii is not seeking to restore a Hawaiian kingdom, but rather an independent Hawaiian republic. In 1989, the group began what opponents have called militant activities by occupying land near the Makapu'u lighthouse in Oahu. The occupiers were treated as squatters by the state government and the Coast Guard and were removed without bloodshed. This group's next attempt would be far more successful. In 1993, a group of 300 native Hawaiians occupied Makapu'u Beach. After 15 months, they were offered 45 acres of land in the Ko'olau Mountains in exchange for ceasing their occupation. The group accepted this proposal, and on that land they founded a village and a cultural center. Members of the organization continue to live on the land, where they teach their children traditional Hawaiian language and customs. In 1998, Kanahile was sentenced to time in prison for his role in aiding a Hawaiian tax evader. After his short stint in prison and a probationary period, he now continues to live on the land ceded to his organization, where he earns a living through alternative medicine. He is also an occasional actor, appearing in a 2015 box office bomb called Aloha, as well as cameoing in an episode of Hawaii Five-0 in 2017. The Nation of Hawaii claims to be the legitimate successor government to the Kingdom of Hawaii, and does not recognize U.S. federal authority over the 45 acres his organization controls. In 2015, the Nation of Hawaii launched its own digital cryptocurrency, Aloha Coin, which you can learn more about at their website alohacoin.today. Despite being the most successful Hawaiian independence group in recent years, the organization has shifted away from seeking a fully sovereign state and instead focuses on building up a Hawaiian cultural identity. This shift led the next group of Hawaiian independence seekers to take action. In 2015, the Hawaiian Independence Party broke off from the Nation of Hawaii, making it the only recognized political party to come out of the Hawaiian sovereignty movement. Like the group they spawned from, they also support a Republican Hawaii rather than a monarchist one. They want to turn Hawaii into a banking and trade center for the Pacific Rim, which they believe is necessary for Hawaii to become an economically viable nation in the modern world. Like the Alaskan Independence Party, they were once recognized as an affiliate of the Constitution Party, but no longer are. There's not much I can tell you about the party's current activities because their web presence is a tad lacking. From Hawaii, we go back to New England to take a look at the New England Independence Campaign. This organization was founded sometime in 2015, and from the look of their website, they are fairly organized. They aim for the states of Connecticut, Rhode Island, Massachusetts, Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine to secede from the United States and form the Republic of New England. On their website, you can see their agenda, which states numerous left libertarian positions. They have a calendar of past and upcoming events and milestones for the organization. You can learn about their flag and even volunteer. There is also a page that lists other groups that support their cause, most of which are secessionist groups in both the US and the UK. Some of them we have covered in previous videos, along with others that will be covered in some later videos. I also noticed that they were using a Weebly website, and were not using a proper domain. So I decided to check Hover, and I noticed that newenglandindependence.com was available. So from there, we go south of the Mason-Dixon line to a very controversial secessionist movement, the Republic of New Africa. The Republic of New Africa is not a new idea. It was the brainchild of the Malcolm X Society. In 1968, the society hosted the National Black Government Conference in Detroit, Michigan. At this meeting, the attendees drafted a constitution, a Declaration of Independence, and charted out a map for the nation containing the entire states of Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, and South Carolina, along with neighboring black majority counties in the contiguous states. They also elected a provisional government, which included Robert F. Williams, a former NAACP chapter president who fled the United States for Cuba and China in 1961 after his involvement in a kidnapping. The organization would come under the eye of the FBI and the CIA, as had many other black political groups during the 1960s and 70s. Members of the organization were frequently arrested, sometimes for legitimate reasons, other times not. The big question that remains for me is, does this organization actually exist? When you delve into the deepest bowels of the internet, you will always find people who claim to be genuine supporters of any idea. But do supporters of an idea mean that an organization still functions? Most of the URLs and domain names that claim to be associated with this group don't work, or haven't been updated in a long time. The few pages that look like they may have been associated with someone who supported the idea now only exist as archived pages. My best guess is that this organization no longer exists in any formal capacity. And just to be sure, I checked Hover again, and I found that republicofnewafrica.com is still available. Because there's no serious attempt at making this organization exist, I don't feel the need to buy up the domain, so I'll let it be. The final movement we're going to look at today is the Puerto Rico Independence Movement. Puerto Rico came into U.S. possession during the Spanish-American War. There are a lot of videos that talk about the complicated legal status of Puerto Rico, so if you want to learn more about that, it isn't difficult. All you really need to know for this video is that Puerto Rico is a non-independent nation under the control of the United States. There have been numerous independence-minded political parties in Puerto Rico. The one that is still operating today is the Puerto Rican Independence Party. Unlike most independence parties across the United States, they have sitting elected officials in their legislature, one in each house. It was founded in 1946 and won its biggest electoral margin in 1952 after the Puerto Rican Nationalist Party sparked an armed uprising. They won 19% of the popular vote, but it only went down from there. Some of this failure was due to federal meddling. FBI Director J. Edgar Hoover ordered that any independence movements in Puerto Rico be undermined for the sake of U.S. national security. Those same orders have been given for any black nationalist movements as well. The party is considered to be politically on the left, but is overall not very influential. Far more impactful have been referendums, one of which was held earlier this year, in which voters decided to become a state, rather than seek independence. However, this referendum is considered controversial due to the extremely low voter turnout, much of which is contributed by a deliberate attempt by some political parties to protest the vote. There are many other issues involving the possibilities of Puerto Rican statehood that are better left as its own video. Suffice it to say that at this point, Puerto Rico has a better chance of becoming a state than an independent nation.